So I want to know,
Exactly.
what was the first loan that you did with Colab that you said, "Oh my God, I'm so happy I'm a broker because I never could have done this correspondent or with a bank."
I know.
Scenario.
So
What was
that
that
there, and
scenario?
I'll never forget it because it was my first one that I was really, it opened up my eyes to, like you said, in our broker channel, there's honestly like nothing that we cannot do. I mean, there's so many things that I didn't even know. I thought I was at Disneyland or, the
Again,
correspondent. I was like,
yeah.
oh, this is it. It doesn't get better than this. And then I see the broker channel. I was like, what? No. But that loan, I still remember, young couple, been in the country for the longest time, but they don't have their immigration status is it's like pending, right? So it's a little bit in limbo. They don't have a social security number per se. They have what we call an ITIN number, which is an individual tax identification number. So that's what they give. The government gives that to them so they can file their taxes and pay their taxes, report their income and all of that, but they don't have a social. So as soon as I had that first interview with them, I was like, I didn't even talk about that until the end because I didn't know. And they were like, they've been working for like 10 years, solid income. They had their assets, they have been saving the money, they had their credit. I was like, this is amazing. I mean, yes, like we can get this done in a week. And then at the end they were like, well, but here's the issue, like we don't really have a social. I was like, what do you mean you don't have a social? And they were like, no, this is how, we're through the immigration process. We're here fine. Like we have our paperwork, like we
Right.
work, we have a business, but we don't have that finalized. And I was like, well, that I don't think I can do that then. But I was like, hold up, I don't say no. Let me figure this out because I have a whole team of experts, been doing it a little bit longer in the broker channel and a whole support system. Let me find out. And then that's where I found out that, those loans exist. They're ITIN loans. And we were able to make it happen. So they got into their home in 30 days. We closed just like a regular home. It was just a specific lender that we needed to put that loan with. And that was the beginning of, an amazing journey with those group of people who are on the same boat. Because that's the other thing. Once one of them do something like that,
Word of mouth.
all of them come. Exactly. Because now they know that it's not impossible. And just seeing that, like when you talk to somebody, and I know that you've experienced this too, VA, but like when you see, in the eyes and you're like, wow, this is possible, it doesn't get better than that. When you
The
tell
American
them,
dream. Yeah, when people say, "What do you
exactly.
do?" I say, "I
Yep.
facilitate dreams," and they go, "What does that mean?" And I say,
Yeah.
"Well, the American dream is home ownership."
Right.
So, you stepped into a situation where you're opening up all these dreams for people, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Yep.
had you not been the broker, like all of a sudden you have a whole niche that you could probably spend your whole day doing I-10 loans,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. That is correct. That is correct.
And so what about what the difference between the correspondent and the broker channel, like financially, maybe more risky, but more reward, or was it not really a big risk or
No, no, for sure. The reward is like huge, right? Because I couldn't do that in the correspondent nor at the bank. Like this type of loans really didn't exist. I'm not sure about now, but they didn't really exist when I was there.
right?
Or any like non-traditional lending. So that was sort of like the path that I really took in the broker channel. I was like, I can do your traditional, conventional FHA. That's fine. That's what I've been doing for all these years. But I sort of, started diving into what we call the non-QM world, right? Like your non-traditional loans. There are just a different way to look at income, the different way to qualify clients. It's not like we're still not going through a qualification process, if you will,
Right.
right? They're still getting vetted. You're still showing your income. You're still showing that you can pay back the loan.
The
It's just in
ability
a
to
different
repay.
way.
The ability
Exactly.
to
That's all it
repay.
is. Yep. That doesn't change.
That no,
That's
not at all. And I just think it helps so much because it increases the velocity of loan activity. And I think that's why
It
brokers are
does.
kind of taking over market share because we're an
Exactly.
entrepreneurial society now. And if you're a smart
Right.
entrepreneur, you're not reporting all your income. You
Exactly.
lower income.
Exactly.
And the only reason it hurts you is when you're trying to buy a house. So there has to be
Exactly.
these kind of alternatives. So
Yeah.
there must have been a huge smile on your face going, oh my goodness, I'm so
It
happy.
was. It was huge, especially like after the pandemic too. I mean, nobody budgeted for a pandemic, right? It
Right.
happened and the country were in shock. So a lot of self-employed people really took a hit. It was huge. And they really wanted to keep their staff and try to do the best they could. So, like you said, to your point, those taxes might not show the best. Cash flow was there, but maybe the expenses went up because they wanted to keep their staff.
Right.
But the way that we look at things is differently, where we can still make that possible and help them out. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you're in the
definitely eye-opening.